Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Unintimidated, the Tim Ellis Show. Today we're going to be talking about Kanye West, Paris Fashion Week, and Kanye and his interview with Tucker Carlson, which was definitely an interview full of surprises, both pleasant and kind of confusing. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, Kanye West went to Paris Fashion Week accompanied by Candace Owens, a political commentator from the right wing platform Daily Wire. Um, they both wore these shirts that read on the back, White Lives Matter, which definitely got an absolute boatload of media attention. Now, it was fantastic to see all the attention that was being paid to this, but why did Kanye feel the need to wear why did he feel the need to wear that? Uh, when asked about it in his interview with Tucker Carlson, Kanye replied, "As an artist, you don't have to give an explanation, but as a leader, you do." Now, it's very clear from Kanye's career that he is an artist. He's a fashion designer, he's a music artist, he was married to a Kardashian. Like, you don't get much more out there than that. Like, this guy has done just about everything. And being at this fashion week, you're kind of the whole feeling seems to be to overthrow the old and institute something new, something that causes people to ask questions, to reconsider their mm, I don't know. I don't like fashion. I am more of a jeans and t-shirt guy. But it does seem to be that if you don't do something radically different from what happened last year, you're old and you're washed up and yada yada yada. So Kanye West definitely remixed it on that one, coming out with just wearing a simple shirt, three words in bold, White Lives Matter, and he got every single news outlet out there talking about it. So it definitely sparked a lot of conversation, which was precisely what he intended. Now, you wear Black Lives Matter as a black man, it everyone's like, "Oh, great, he's supporting his own." But if you wear White Lives Matter, it's a very different look. And Kanye's own dad, Kanye was saying, texted him, laughing, but then he also said, "It's good to see a black man stating the obvious." So it's definitely, it is obvious. White lives matter, but so do black lives. So do all lives, because all lives are created by God with intrinsic dignity. It doesn't matter any state, any age, any skin color, anything. As a human, you are given an intrinsic dignity and your life has value. Your life matters, which Kanye said quite beautifully with this White Lives Matter shirt as a black man. So he very clearly values black lives because he's alive. And so his life has value. And he wasn't saying that white lives are the greatest. He just said white lives matter. All lives matter, which is absolutely beautiful. And it's fascinating how many people got upset by him wearing a shirt that says a very obvious thing. If I wear a shirt that says Indian lives matter, it'll definitely get some questions asked. If I wear a shirt that says Black lives matter, people are like, "Oh yeah, he's part of the movement." But if Kanye wears a shirt that says White lives matter, or pretty sure I'd get a lot of flack for wearing a shirt that says White lives matter, it blows up, goes crazy. Everyone's wanting to know why he's wearing what he's wearing, and he just didn't explain up until he went on this Tucker Carlson interview and said it's because all lives matter. At which point, he also made a point of saying that unborn lives matter, which was kind of surprising. I didn't know he took that stance. I knew he was Christian, but I didn't know he was so positively Christian, which was very great to see. Mad props to the man. Um, so far so good, right? He's all lives matter, unborn lives matter. This guy's making great points, but then he comes out with he says a few weird things in the Tucker interview. And then on Twitter, he has a really weird tweet that was taken as anti-Semitic. So I'm going to read the tweet, and then I'll talk a little bit about the clips from the Tucker interview that were edited, that ended up getting edited out of the interview, that were definitely a little different. So in the tweet, he says, "I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda." So definitely kind of a weird thing. I would not recommend going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Hitler tried it; it didn't go so well for him. But the I think I think Kanye has definitely been making this point of saying outrageous things to get a reaction, to get a question, right? So, in saying DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, the funny thing is, I can't be racist. He's pointing the fact that, like, what does it actually mean to be racist? And, like, how much can you say before people misconstrue it? And also, I think there's also some point to where's comedy gone, because he makes a comment in his interview with Tucker Carlson about preferring his kids celebrate is it Hanukkah over Yom Kippur? No, I cannot remember the exact quote, but I'll continue. I will look for. Okay, I prefer my kids' new Hanukkah than Kwanzaa. At least it will come with some financial engineering. So that is a really, it's kind of out there quote, but when you if you watch the clip of him saying it, he kind of gives like this nervous giggle afterwards, and throughout the entire interview, he's not fully making eye contact. He's kind of in a hunched up posture. He's clearly not quite comfortable because he's on with Tucker Carlson, who has absolutely demolished people for saying weird things. And if Kanye says something weird, the odds are he might get nailed for it. So, he seems kind of nervous throughout the entire interview. And if you just watch his body language during this comment, it's clear he's trying to make a joke that kind of falls flat. And I don't know if Tucker realizes that, but Tucker was deadpan the entire time during that part. So it's just, I think he's also maybe trying to make a little bit of a point about how, like, you got to be so restricted in what you say, which he's definitely not. He will just say whatever, as clearly shown in his tweet, where he just kind of like, "I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jews." Um, but I, he's clearly not going to. That that's very clearly sarcastic. Oh, wrong cable. Um, but it's very important to consider not only a person what they actually say, but their intentions behind it. And I think that's a point that he's been trying to make and will continue to try to make. And it's that, like, you need to address what the person actually meant rather than what they're saying. And also, you need to know what you believe and why you believe it. Because if you believe you can't say mean things to a certain color of skin because that's considered racist, but you can say whatever you want about another color of skin and that's entirely fine, the peaceful riots of 2020 come to mind. And it's just, it's a very, like, almost volatile point of, like, you need to know what you, volatile is a weird word. It's a very solid point that you need to, like, know what you believe, and then you also have need to have why you believe it. And Kanye is definitely great at just telling people weird things that then makes you ask a question, like, white lives matter. Why do Okay, well, white lives matter, black lives matter. Why can't we just say all lives matter, right? And that's the point he's getting at. But he's also He's also realized, and this is something that I've noticed. Uh, Wrong page. I've noticed a lot of streamers. So this is going to be kind of weird to think about for a little bit, but look at all the streamers and a lot of the YouTubers that have made it really big, and look at what they've said to get there. If you look at, like, I don't know what she plays. Her name's Nadia, one of the game streamers, and she's gotten phenomenally big of people accusing her to be cheating. But in doing so, everyone is taking all of her videos and trying to dissect them, causing her content to go absolutely viral because it's everywhere now, because people are watching it. People are trying to prove that she's cheating. People are trying to see her cheat. And in the same way, Andrew Tate, everyone was like, they would either share his stuff to get the benefit from it that he was offering, or they would share it to react to it and be like, "Oh, this is misogynistic. This is terrible. Why would he ever say this?" But it's to get a rise out of people. It's to get a reaction because in this society, if you just say a whitewashed statement, everyone's just like, "Okay, fine," and lets it slide. But if you say something that really stands out, that's really weird, everyone just gets all inflamed about it and it goes everywhere. It lights the world on fire. And that is exactly what Kanye's been doing. He's saying strange things because you'll see the bit of truth in it, but everybody is going to see it. And I think it's genius. I think it really is. And I think that's part of what he's doing really well and why he's getting everywhere because he'll do something ridiculous, which is what you do as a musical artist, what you do as a fashion designer, what you like. Look at YouTubers. When they get arrested, how much bigger do they get? If they get charged with a crime and they vlog the entire thing, the videos explode. Whistling Diesel had a video in which somebody stole something from him and he was trying to get these tools back. I believe they're tools. He got 20 million hits on that video. It's by showing like the outrageous, the strange, in which people like flock to see it because we're a society addicted to freak shows. That's what we want to see. So if Kanye just kind of says, "Oh yeah, all lives matter," nobody listens. But if he says, "Oh yeah, white lives matter," well, why did you say that? What did you say that for? Now you go and you ask the next person, who asks the next person, who asks the next person, then CNN reports on it, and it gets massive because all these people reading CNN, Fox, NBC, MSNBC, all of them. It got massive because it's weird. We're a society that is addicted to these freak shows and we love to see them. And he's harnessed that. He's learned to harness that. And through doing that, he's really tricked a lot of people into sharing what he has to say. And I think it's genius if that's what he's really trying to do. If not, I have no idea why he's saying what he's saying. But my best theory is that he's saying these inflammatory statements because he wants the truth, what he believes, to get out there is that all lives matter, unborn lives matter. And in order to do that, he makes a few inflammatory statements, he makes a few jokes, and the press eats it up and throws it everywhere for everybody to see. And that's how Kanye is winning against the press right now. And that's what I think it's turned to get your story out there. You have to do something crazy to get it there. And I think today's streamers, today's YouTubers are, and today's celebrities in general are just becoming more and more proof that you can't just have a regular, like, you can't just have a regular life to be famous. You need to be crazy. You need to be bizarre. And that's precisely what Kanye's picked up on. That's precisely why Kanye is doing what he's doing. That's precisely why he's saying what he's saying. To get his story out there that big, you've got to be a little crazy, which is something he fits the role of perfectly. So yeah, I really love what Kanye said about all lives mattering, about Black lives mattering, about unborn lives mattering, and one of the things he says that really stood out to me is he doesn't care like who listens to him, who follows him. He says when he performs for a crowd of one, and that's God. And so I highly recommend his interview. Some of the I believe it's called B-roll. It's just the clips that were cut out. Um, some of those are also interesting to hear, interesting to see. Uh, just because I believe he's trying to get questions asked, and to do that rather than just asking the question, he's forcing you to ask the question by asking why he said what he said. So mad props to the man. I'm gonna cut this video here. I'm gonna keep it a little bit shorter for you guys. Um, it's still gonna be 16-ish minutes. But yeah, thank you for watching. Uh, Adios.